So in the previous video, we started looking at lifecycle events and also the handlers that we can supply to them. And I promised that we are going to deal with the error side of things in this video. So this is the video where we're going to be attaching a handler to the on-error event so that when there is an error in our runnable or our chain of runnables, we can handle it. We can handle it and we can log it. We can run an action based on that event and stuff like that. So let's get into our demo. What we're going to be doing, we're going to create a runnable that will definitely throw an error based on some things that we give it. So we would actually push it. We're going to trigger it to evoke an error, and then the runnable, the listener that we attach to our runnable is going to catch the error event and handle it with the function that we provide. So let's begin. First, let us get from LangChain core runnables. Let's import our runnable lambda so that we can use it to create our custom runnable that is going to definitely throw an error. So I have runnable lambda. Then I'm just going to get dict and any from the typing library. So I'm going to say from typing import any and dict. You'll see later on why we are bringing those in. I'm also going to import JSON because we want to also simulate some sort of JSON error. And finally, I'm going to import so from LangChain core.tracers.schemas import our run object. So that's good. We have everything that we need for this demo. The next thing I'm going to do is to create the runnable that is going to definitely throw an error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function that we're going to convert to a runnable. And what it will simply do is that it's going to take a dictionary of the input to the runnable, or a dictionary as input to the runnable. And it's going to check whether what we send in contains some piece of text. And once it sees that piece of text, it's just going to raise an error. We're going to raise the error manually. So let's do that. Say def, going to call it failing function. Failing function is going to take an input dictionary. So I'm going to call that input dict. And it will be a dictionary. The keys will be string and the value can be anything. So that's good. And that will basically return a string. I'm just going to return a string back to us. So once we have that in place, I'm going to get a topic variable, which will just be topic is going to be the key that we're going to be using to get the input to the runnable. So we just kind of simulate what we had before with the old topic thing and all that. So I'm going to say topic. So I'm going to get my topic from the input dictionary. Say dot get. So get the topic key. Else just say unknown. Just say unknown. So with that in place, I'm then going to check for different types of values that or different types of strings that are contained within the topic, and based on that I'm just going to raise an error. So if we see JSON inside the string that comes in the topic, we're going to raise a JSON error. If we see error, we're going to raise an ordinary error. We're going to raise a value error and stuff like that. So we'll just simulate error scenarios, and at the end of the day, the main thing is to see how our handler gets to process it. So I'm going to say if error in the topic.lower, if error in topic.lower, then simply just raise a value error. Raise a value error. And here we have an F string, and it will say intentional error triggered by topic. And we're going to put the topic there. Okay. So if we find the word error inside whatever we pass into our runnable in the topic key of the dictionary that we pass in, we're just going to print this out. We're going to print this out. Create more error scenarios. Next, let us simulate a network error. So say if we find the word network in topic.lower, Finding the topic.lower. I'm just going to, let me create a variable here so I don't keep typing topic.lower each time. Just going to say lower topic. Lower topic equals topic.lower. So put it here. No. Then we'll just say lower topic and also replace it with lower topic. So lower topic. So if network, we're just going to raise a connection error. Going to raise a connection error. And inside, we're also going to pass a string and say simulated network failure. Simulated network connection failure. So that's good. Let's do JSON now. So let's do JSON. So else, if we find the word JSON in lower topic, then we're going to actually raise an error, but we'll send it as a JSON. So we're going to say bad JSON. Bad JSON equals let's have a string here. Just going to put this and just put something that looks like an incomplete JSON statement. So I'm just going to say incomplete JSON. So that's our bad JSON, and we're going to return JSON.loads bad JSON. Yeah, and this will definitely raise the JSON decoder error. So finally, let's put a final case. We'll say else, just return an F string with the string processing topic. That means we found no errors. So yeah, just basically processing the topic. Okay, so this is the function that is going to raise an error. If we find the word error in our string input through the topic parameter, we're going to raise a value error. If we find the word network inside, we're going to raise a connection error. Then if we find the word JSON inside, we're just going to send back an incomplete JSON that would definitely raise the JSON error. So we have that in place. And to convert this to a runnable, just simply going to say error runnable equals runnable lambda, and we pass in our filling function. Passing filling function. Put this in. That's good. Now the next thing we're going to do is create the listener for our error so that we can then attach it to this to whatever chain we are going to form with this error runnable. So we can add it to our runnable setup. So I'm going to say def my listener on error. My listener on error, it should definitely take run, which will be an instance of the run object. That's all we need. And now if we come down, we're going to start printing some stuff, some very important stuff. First, let us print the run ID. So we're going to print run ID. This has to be an F string. So say print run ID. And we know that is run.id. That's good. The next thing we're going to be printing is our error name, the name of the error. So we'll say error name. And we're just going to say run.name. Run.name. The next thing is going to be the start time for the runnable. That's when the runnable started executing. So I'm just going to say start time. That's something that can come in handy too when you are investigating errors. So say run underscore start time. By the way, this is also available if you are running on end or on start. It's not just available to the on error event. So we'll print the start time and we can also get the end time. So end time, that will be run.end time, which is good. We would also like to know what the inputs are. So what inputs caused this error? So input, and we know we can get that from run.inputs. Run.inputs. And also we would like to see the output. So what came out as an output, if there's any output at all. The output run dot output. Am I missing something here? Print. Okay, yeah, there's a missing brace here. So we have the run ID, run D, run ID, the error name. I don't know why. Yeah, should we call this error name or just the name of the run? It should be the run name, not the error name. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it prints out. So run name, start time, end time, input, output. Now, all these are basic stuff that we can also get from the on start and on end events. But then let us print a line for the error itself. What if we want to see the error itself? So error details. We're going to get the error details. And we can get that from run.error. Run.error. This is where the error is contained. This is your error here. So run.error. So yeah, the ID, the name of the run, the start time of the whole process, the end time, the inputs and the outputs. Then for the error details, we have that here. So that's good. Now let us add our event handler to our runnable. I'm not going to be creating a chain. I'm just going to be adding the event handler directly on the runnable. You can add it on a single runnable or a chain of runnable. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to say error runnable with listeners. I'm going to set that to error runnable dot with listeners. Then inside here, we can call the on error argument, which maps to the on error event. And then we can give it our event handler. That's my listener on error. So we give it that. And now we can take this error runnable with listeners and run it. We can take it and run it. So to do that, I'm going to first put a print statement here. Say demo running. No. Demo, then we say running error scenario. Running error scenario. And dub. So I'm going to wrap this in a try catch. I say try. This will say result equals error runnable with listeners dot invoke. Then here we can pass it a topic. Say topic. And for now we evoke the value error. We evoke the value error. So I'm just going to say error somewhere here. All it needs to do is to see that error string, error substring, and to trigger the value error. So I have that in place, and we can say print result, and we'll just put result here. Print the result. Then we're going to undo the catch scenario. Say except, I'm going to catch the error, try except, and accept exception as E. And here I'm just going to print and say an error occurred. An error occurred. So we want to catch the error here. We don't want to print it out here. We want to have it here. So an error occurred. So we have that in place. All that good. And now we can run this example. So what did we do? First, we created a function that takes a dictionary of string keys and any data type as the value. Then we extract the topic key from it so that we can get the value. Set it to lowercase. Then we use it to search for different keywords like error. So if we see error in the topic, we just raise this value error. If we see network, we'll raise a network error. We'll simulate a network error. And if we see JSON inside it, we're just going to construct a bad JSON, and we're going to call JSON.load to load it so that it can trigger the JSON error, the JSON decoder error. So and if we don't find any errors, we just say processing topic. Then we created we made it a runnable using runnable lambda, and we attached. Before that, we created our listener. We created our listener to print out some of the properties that we can get from the runnables run. But most importantly, we can also access the error property so that we can use that to investigate the error. Then here we have we are attaching our listeners to the runnable. So we call the onError argument and we set it to equal to our function, which is going to be the handler. Then we're running our error scenario, and now we're testing with the error keyword so that we can raise the value error. So let's save that. Let's pull up our command line. Now I'm going to say Python and call error handling, Python error handling. Hit enter, and here we have the error. Here we have the error. So let's scroll down. Let's scroll. So what we have first is what the stuff we first logged. The stuff we first logged. So run ID. We have our run ID. The run name is a failing function, so it actually captures our runnable, the runnable that created the error as the run name. That's the failing function. The start time and the end time, I think, is just about microseconds apart because everything here is basically the same. The input is the topic error somewhere here, which is the dictionary that we passed in. That's the input. No output. Yeah, we got an error, so no output. Then error details. Error details. Now it gives us all the error details. It was a value error, and this is the error that we raised. Intentional error triggered by topic, and the topic we gave is error somewhere. Then we get the trace back, which gives us all the stack of how the error occurred. And at the end of the day, we got our value error down here. Value error, intentional error triggered by topic, and an error occurred that we printed from the exception handler. So cool. Let's try JSON. Let's try the JSON error. Let's clear this, close this, and we're going to say JSON somewhere here. Can just leave it as that, JSON somewhere here. So it's going to pick up this JSON, and now it's going to raise a JSON error. So let's pull up our command line once again. Let's run our file, error handling.py. And now we get a JSON decoder error. From our bad JSON that we fed into JSON.loads. And we still get the typical printout for the run ID, the run name, the start time, the input, the output. But now we have a JSON decode error. And we have the trace for the error itself. So yeah, that's how you can listen on your errors. And here we're just printing stuff out, but you can definitely take actions. You can investigate the error based on the error type. You can take certain actions and stuff like that. You can retry stuff if it's a transient error, like a network error. You can log stuff to your preferred monitoring tools. So many things you can do. Anything that you can do, mitigation strategies, logging strategies, or anything that your application requires for you to perform when an error takes place, you can handle it here. So yeah, that's all on this. Now we're going to be going into configuring runnables. We've looked at how to compose runnables. We've looked at how to handle events. The next thing on our plate is how to configure runnable.